Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. It's TPM5 here, back again with another NBA video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Miami Heat. I'm going to preview their season. I think they can do some stuff in the Eastern Conference. They've obviously made some strong moves, and we'll talk more about them. But just quickly, over the past season, the one that just passed the 2020-2021 season, Jimmy Butler led the team in points at 21 and a half. He also, had a surprisingly high amount of assists at 7, so he has been able to increase his playmaking ability. But obviously, adding Kyle Lowry helps, and it takes a lot of the load off of him. Now, when we look at the roster and some of the moves they made, they did extend Jimmy Butler on a 4-year, $184 million deal, so he's going to be with that team until 2026. That kind of just ensures the status of the team as being a playoff team. I think he will be quite old, and that deal does incrementally go up, so it could end up being I'm not sure about the whole if the last couple years of that deal will be worth it. But just a quick break, guys. I make NBA content 2 to 3 times a week. I've been doing a lot more frequently than that during this off season. So if you'd like to subscribe, I'd heavily appreciate it. And if we have any returning subscribers, thank you guys for coming back, and I appreciate your support. And let's continue. So yeah, Jimmy Butler, obviously it's a long deal, and the whole deal won't be worth it, but you can obviously understand why they did it. Now, I like the intent from the Heat this offseason, because coming off of the 2019-20 season where they made that run, the bubble run as people call it, and they made it to the finals, they kind of had a bit of a lackluster year getting swept by the Bucks, which was their kind of main crowning achievement in that bubble run. Now, they got a true point guard in Kyle Lowry. He's getting old, but they paid him 3 years, 85 million. That was what the market was like for him, and they had to do it. I like what he gives them, because as a defender, for someone that's I think 6'1", or not the tallest player in the NBA, he holds his own. And this will sound silly, but when you get switched, if you get switched onto a bigger player, he can hold his own in the post. Obviously, not with guys like Giannis and that, but there'll be certain opponents where for a guy that's that small and theoretically not that strong, although he kind of, obviously, if you pay attention to NBA memes, he's got a bit of meat on him. But I like what he does, and defensively on the perimeter, he's another great guy as well. Defensively, he probably is an upgrade from Goran Dragic, which is something that was interesting. He took kind of a downward step, although he did lead the team in points per game in the playoffs. This is Dragic I'm talking about. But the key thing is, when you look back at the bubble run as well with the Heat, a lot of success they had was from alley-oop plays to Bam, and just also Goran Dragic knowing how to manipulate the post with Adebayo's presence there. Now they get Kyle Lowry, who's someone I don't want to disrespect Dragic, because I like what he's done over his career, but you get someone who's probably a bit more of a, I guess, natural passer as such. So Lowry can spot that, and can put some alley-oops up as well, and it kind of creates more of that post play. Just looking at some of the success they had back in the bubble, that's something that they did work well with, and also a bit more of a balanced load when it comes to playmaking as well. Now, yeah, Kyle Lowry last season averaged 17 points and 7 assists. So obviously that number may end up dropping, but it'll be like a $2 version of Chris Paul in terms of the impact that he has. I think that that's something he can do. Now they brought back Duncan Robertson for 5 years, 90 million. Now 18 million a year or somewhere about there seems like a lot, but it is the going market. If you remember, Davis Bertans got a similar deal last offseason, so it's just the going rate. They had to pay him, and it was considered an off year for him when he averaged 13 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and shot 41% from 3, which obviously is a step back from his 45% in the 2019-20 season. But that was absurd. Like, that's NBA, like that's all-time, great 3-point percentages in the season for someone that shoots as much of them as he does. So obviously he was going to take a step back. They also added PJ Tucker in a relatively team-friendly deal, which was 15 million over 2 years. He can knock down some threes in the corner, it gives him some stretching, and on defense he can play up, play up positions and stuff. Obviously, as we saw in the bubble, I don't think he can guard centers, but he can probably take power forwards, and obviously he's a great defender, brings great hustle, and he's been around the block. He had to go to Europe and he's come back, so he brings that grit and determination. And continuing with that theme, you guys might be noticing the late season addition in Dwayne Dedmon, who they got in towards the end of last year, was averaging 7 points, 5 rebounds, 13 minutes per game. He was a great energy guy, very efficient from the field, obviously, as a reserve center. I like what he did, and that's on a very, very cheap deal. Now they added Markieff Morris, so obviously I'm not going to gloss over that too much, but he can, step up if they need him to go into the starting lineup occasionally. And Victor Oladipo is someone who they gave away a little bit of value for last year. Returns, is a low risk, high reward type of signing. He's back on a 1 year, $2.4 million deal. Obviously the injuries are the main concern with him. I think that these moves make the Heat are a contender for, getting home courts. That's a top 4 seed in the East. I think that they've added pieces that give them the chance where if all things go right to build a playoff run, I think conference semifinals is a minimum for them. But yeah, that's it guys for the video. Thank you for making it to the end. Please don't forget to like and comment. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Don't forget to subscribe as well, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.